Welcome back to GTD. It's our first baseball episode where we've had games to talk about. Everything's just been projections and predictions and what we want or think will happen. But now we have some actual hard stats to kind of talk about. And, I mean, you know why you're clicking on this video. The biggest storyline, torpedo bats. We'll get right into it. What are your thoughts on the torpedo bats?
I think it's some very clever innovation, and I like it. I think that you're going to see a lot of people copy it. You've already seen some teams and players get their own torpedo bats. And my approach to it is it within the rules? Yes. Well, then I'm fine with it. They're not breaking any rules. It's just innovation in sports. You see this all the time. Now, I don't know if MLB is going to tweak it a little bit based on the results that we've seen so far from the torpedo bats, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, I mostly agree. I'm not hating the torpedo bats. I'm not asking MLB to come out tomorrow and ban the torpedo bats. I do think it's funny. I mean, this happened because they scored 20 runs that one game with them.
Yeah.
But it's funny how everyone's pointing to the Yankees about cheating with these bats, but they're not pointing to Francisco Lindor, who went 0 for 11 swinging the same bat, and Nico Horner on the Cubs, who swings this bat. There were 12 or 14 guys outside the Yankees who swung this bat this weekend.
And you wonder if that's because maybe they've been practicing with the torpedo bats previously. We don't know if the Yankee players have been swinging those.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing this bat float around for years. Like, this is not a brand new thing. Yeah. It's been around, and you still have what every old baseball guy has said, whether it's a manager or fan, you still have to hit the baseball. And if a pitcher doesn't like it, okay, paint them outside, make them use that new bat, and make them get that barrel extra far out there, which is very difficult to do as a hitter.
Because if they're going to make you hit it off the end of the bat with a torpedo bat, obviously it's not going to go very well trying to do that. So you're just going to have to adapt. I think you're going to see people adapt. I think part of it is just the people caught the Yankees using it on a day where they had an outstanding offensive day anyway.
Yeah. And, I mean, because that could have happened. You've seen games where teams score 18 runs and hit this many home runs. So it was just kind of a mix of both. A new thing, new shiny toy, first week of the season, and a big offensive splurge from the Yankees. But Chris Rose put it in a very interesting perspective. And he didn't come out and say he was against this and wanted it banned as well. But his perspective was, in team sports, there's not another team sport where you can – because the baseball bat is an equipment for MLB. It's a rule-booked equipment piece. Mm-hmm. And he said in football, basketball, and other sports, you can't adjust the equipment. You can't change the football because you can throw it further. And you can't, there's certain things you can and can't do with equipment in other sports. So he's just said he's curious to see how MLB might handle this and, if it is adjusting the equipment more so than the MLB deems okay, but they cleared the bat. So
yeah, my thing is, like, if they've cleared it already and it's still within that maximum diameter, I don't see why they would have to change it, because really the main purpose for the torpedo bat is to stop guys getting jammed. You see it with Anthony Volpe especially. That was kind of the driving force behind this for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And it's been an improvement, and not everyone's going to use a torpedo bat. Some people
not everyone's that does is it will be good with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be player to player, so I think it's less like adjusting the football to throw it further and more so getting a baseball glove that fits right for you as far as this bat goes, because it's an adjustment based on how you hit the baseball. It's either going to benefit you or you might not swing so well with it. So I think it's more of a feel and style adjustment rather than a kind of overpowered piece of cheating device or whatever.
And I don't want MLB to come out the next 3 weeks and make a decision. If you're going to make a decision at all with this bat, make it the All-Star break when you have, let's say, half the players on half the teams are using it. That's that's a good stat line. Then you can see, okay, is it a little too much? Like if we're starting to score 24 to 20 home runs a game or runs a game and just killing the baseball, okay, then I'd like to see MLB do something about it. I don't think it'll get like that. Like we said earlier, I think it was just a combination of two, things.
I think another part people are forgetting is the Brewers pitchers that this happened against are not very good.
Yeah, Brewers has a young and injured pitching staff right now. So, this might not be the last time it happens to them this year.
And if you want to say Nestor Cortez is a great pitcher, that's your opinion.
Yeah. But speaking of obliterating the baseball, there's two guys we have to highlight. Aaron Judge and Eugenio Suarez, 4 bombs on the weekend.
Yes.
Great starts to the season through them.
I have a third guy I want to highlight too, if you'll let me.
Oh, I know who your third guy is.
Yes.
But let's talk about the two guys at the top right now. Suarez was really monumental in two of the Diamondbacks wins this weekend.
Yeah.
They split the series with the Cubs.
Also, how about Ryan Nelson getting a hit, the pitcher for the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, that was a tough inning to watch.
If that was against any other team than the Cubs, you would have loved that, though. So I think as a baseball fan.
Yeah, no, pitchers getting hits. I love it. That was just a collapse from the Cubs bullpen there, but maybe that'll be fixed. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Judge, 4 bombs, Suarez, 4 bombs. Judge, obviously his bombs helped, but he had more of an offense behind him.
Well, and
Suarez
the 3-in-1 game and the 20-run game helped with that.
Suarez, he was really monumental in that win. Diamondbacks and Padres, I think, are going to shape up to be a very good battle for second place.
Yeah, they're going to be fun.
Division. But all right, who's your guy?
The other guy I want to highlight is Reds second baseman Matt McClain.
Yeah.
And he missed all of last year while injured. And like I said last week, I think a lot of people forgot about Matt McClain while he was out injured. And
how could I forget when you mention him all the time?
Well, and not everyone's you. This is a guy who had better average and a lot of better stats overall than Ellie De La Cruz their first year when they had both just come up from the minors. And you look at him now, hit another home run versus the Rangers today for the Reds. Now has 3 home runs on the year already. Ellie got his first today, but I've been super happy to have Matt McClain back. He has hit the ground running exactly like I would have hoped. I think actually even better than I would have hoped because he was never a huge home run guy his first year.
Yeah.
So I've absolutely loved this out of Matt McClain. And if the Reds, a lot like the Cubs, can get the bullpen situation figured out, I think this is a team that still has a very good chance.
Yeah, and when your bullpen's struggling, the best thing you can do is hit home runs and put crooked numbers up on the board.
Currently up 6-0 on the Rangers as we record this.
And that goes for other teams. But a guy I specifically want to highlight when it comes to home runs is our Bat Flick of the Week winner, our first one of the 2025 season. I don't think you're going to be shocked by who it is, even if you haven't seen this. But if you have seen it, you definitely know who it is. It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
Fernando!
This guy probably made the list. Last year, he probably made it 3 to 4 times. He's definitely the most on the list. Like, he's made the list all the time. And that's because that's what he does. Now, he looks like the Fernando Tatis we came to love his early career. One weekend, so we'll see. But he looks solid
like MLB
right now.
The Show 21 Fernando Tatis.
Exactly. So he's going to be fun to watch, just like this team. But yeah, let's just break down the bat flip. Monsters home run against the struggling Braves. Kind of just leans into it as he's watching and just kind of dumps the bat and struts, slow walks it to first base.
Very classic
Fernando.
Yeah, yes.
I like how both. That's kind of what he does. He loves turning his back to like the
field.
It's
what he does.
Just like eyeing his ball and then bang. And I think he's also the guy who who brought back this style of shade for baseball players and really made it popular, I guess, 6 years now, 5-6 years ago. But yeah, he's our first winner of the Bat Flip of the Week. Congratulations, Fernando Tatis Jr.
And now for the Bat Whiff of the Week, it is Rafael Devers.
Ooh, I like that transition.
Yes.
Yes, 0 for 16 with 12 Ks this weekend. But if you're a Red Sox fan and you've just been watching Rafi Devers, this goes back to the end of last season. He really struggled at the end of last season. A lot of strikeouts. And I wanted to mention this last week, but we just couldn't fit it in. I was curious to see how him, but not only him, other players. Because you talk about, DH versus a position player. Is the different mindset, different approach? Some guys, I'm just a baseball player. I'm just going to go hit. I don't care. Some guys really need that structure and day-to-day thing. And when you change it, it's a big change to everything.
Yeah, and you've seen it, I think, notably as well with Yordan Alvarez, who I believe his average drops by about 40 points when he's not, or when he's DHing versus when he's in the field. It might even be more than that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But he is one of the guys that just said, I need that flow. I need to be out there. I need to be in the game to really hit as best I can. And I think you're seeing that with Devers to start the year. Obviously, not the way you want to be swinging the bat early. I think he'll get it figured out because this is a guy who's been one of the best hitters in baseball and for this Red Sox team for the past few years. So I doubt we see this continue as a pattern, but do keep an eye on the numbers. And if by the All-Star break we're sitting a lot lower than normal with Rafi Devers, it might end up being time for a switch in that Red Sox infield.
But it's also not just a guy who, like Alvarez, who's just resting every few days or who got injured and had to switch to DH. He got benched from his position. Like, they went out and got a third baseman while they still had Rafi Devers and said...
Which, if you watch Rafi Devers play defense, is completely understandable.
Yeah, but as far as his mental mindset goes, they went out and got somebody to replace him on the field. Mm-hmm. So that's also obviously going to take a hit. But hopefully he can get over that mental hump and come back because A guy just doesn't fall off the table fundamentally. Yes, there's some fundamental things, but that's some minor adjustment stuff that everyone goes through. So hopefully he can get over this mental hump and get back to him. A lot of players that need to get over a mental hump is the team of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, rough start.
Rough start. We mentioned the Padres sweeping them
and now they
earlier.
get to play the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's tough first 2 weeks, tough West Coast swing for them.
MLB schedulers are not a fan of the Atlanta Braves to start the year.
But they're not hitting well. They're pitching okay.
Their bullpen is horrific.
Schwellenbach did okay.
They put Hector Neris in. You as a Cubs fan will know that does not go well.
Yeah, he's no longer on the team. He got DFA'd this morning.
Yeah. Jesse Chavez is back.
Yes, he is. Maybe he can be the rock in the bullpen.
Jesse Chavez back. The Braves are fine.
Yeah. He's going to be the rock in the bullpen. He'll be there tonight. He's probably going to pitch tonight. But, yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button on the Braves.
No, it's just a rough start of the schedule. They'll work it out. But if you haven't seen yet, Jurickson Profar has been done for performance-enhancing substances. Apparently tested positive for a substance or hormone or protein that is present for, like, keeping pregnancy stable. And pretty sure Jurickson Profar isn't pregnant, so can understand why that showed up on the scan. So he is out for 80 games, suspended by the MLB, also will not be eligible to return to the postseason roster, which is a pretty huge hit if you're Atlanta. And then also, about half an hour ago, as we record this, Reynaldo Lopez has been backdated under the 15-day IL. So another player down for the Braves already. It's feeling like shades of last year, and we're just 5 days in.
Yeah, and they shook out okay last year. Made the playoffs, made a little bit of a run. And the guy, Acuna was one of the big guys, and Strider was one of the big guys they lost last year. And I think if you're going to weigh Acuna and Strider versus the two guys they lost today, I think you'd rather take these two over a repeat of last year. So they should be all right. They should shake up. Another guy who is all right and has come back nicely so far is Jacob deGrom.
Yes.
He went 5 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 6 Ks, 2 walks. I just want to see him be Jacob deGrom. And I think the whole baseball world does. And hopefully we can get that. Hopefully he can stay healthy. And it's all hope. But he looks good. I think if he is healthy, he'll be fine. He's not going to get hit around. He will, but not. He's still going to be Jacob deGrom to an extent if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, he is, in my opinion, the best version of Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think even still. And if you can let him kind of get back into the swing of things as the season moves on, I think you're going to have that top-level ace that you expected when you signed Jacob deGrom if you are the Texas Rangers. And then if you have him and you're bringing in Nathan Eovaldi as your 2, all of a sudden the top of that rotation is looking very, very solid for Texas. So obviously plus sides for them early. And like Keegan said, baseball is better when Jacob deGrom is healthy and pitching well.
Yeah. So very excited to see him. One thing that we kind of joked around and touched on last weekend, or I guess last baseball episode before the season started, was to get a whiteboard and track LE's stolen bases and PCA stolen bases.
Yes.
And I do still want to do that because I do think they would be the 2 guys. We'll add a third if someone comes up, but it's pretty cool that both of our teams have one of the guys who probably will be.
And as we record this, Ellie De La Cruz is on the main page of the MLB.com website because he hit a home run, which, as a Reds fan who never gets to see that a lot, is pretty cool.
But as far as this count goes, how many stolen bases does he have? Because unless he has one tonight, he's at 0.
Yeah, he's still at 0. Does not have one tonight.
So Pete Crow is winning by 1. A lead is a lead.
Well,
Pete Crow's got 1.
The leader is actually someone still in the division. It's O'Neal Cruz with 5.
Yeah, he's gonna be a dog.
Yeah,
he's always gonna steal a lot of bases.
And then another Pirate at second, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with 4.
Oh, Pirates playing some small ball, trying to help Paul Skeens out.
And in third, it's another player from the division, Victor Scott of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, maybe we should stop speaking about Ellie and PCA until they start, actually showing off their wheels.
PCA isn't even top on the Cubs. It's John Birdie with 2.
Yeah, well, he played a lot in Tokyo.
Yeah.
But is that all you have for baseball?
That is all we have for baseball today. So if you're looking for motorsports, that'll be out this week as well. We'll have NASCAR recap of Martinsville earlier this week, NASCAR preview of Darlington coming later in the week, and then also F1 is back in Japan this weekend, so we will have a preview episode for that, so be on the lookout. But for now, I'm Micah. He's Keegan. This has been Baseball GTD. We'll see you again later this week.